Hey, what's up YouTube fish tube and fish fan? This is yours truly, Rob with DeFreese Aquariums, and today I'm coming to you with a quick unboxing from my buddy Keith over at K.J.E Tropical.
Well, did you catch that one? That's a blooper if I've ever seen one. This video is an unboxing, not by K.J.E Tropical, but by K.J.E Aquatics. Now, rewind when I did that. Later on in the video, instead of referring to K.J.E Aquatics, I then started to call Keith's company K.J.E Tropicals. And then I went into K.J.E Tropicals. So needless to say, those bloopers aren't here. I left this one in the beginning here because I have no idea why I said that, especially because I had just looked at the sticker before I started the camera. So let's get to this unboxing of K.J.E Aquatics.
Couple Zoom Edge stickers, his sticker, his business card, his pen, and ironically he gave me a little bit of Beta H2O conditioner, which I can definitely use because we have a sorority tank going with a male in there. Everybody's well. So let's see, what do we got here? He threw in a couple goodies too, so. And this could be one of your worst scenarios that, you know, he sells foods and he sells plants. Now, you know, there's a few people I get plants from, and, you know, he's right here in my neighborhood. My boy Mike out there does he gets a lot of stuff from him as well. All right. So the good part is, as I was saying, going to the store and buying stuff. You know, you really don't think about it until you have, and like in my case, I think it's 6 tanks and you're feeding and you're doing water changes. You know, it's $10 here, $9 there, $12 there, $18 there, fertilizers, the whole 9 yards. It adds up, especially over time. Now with the virus stuff going on, to me, the biggest pain in the behind is, like, I went to my local Petco one day just to get some pellets for my cichlids because I was out. And I was met at the door. The door opened up just wide enough for me to get through. And there was a guy like this with a clipboard. Stops me, reads through the whole thing about coming in, going in right to what you need to find, and then coming to the register and checking out and basically getting out of the store. And if there's somebody waiting, there's a mark on the floor. Stand on that mark till said person moves. I understand it. You know, I know why they're doing it. And I also understand what an inconvenience it is, especially because the store wasn't busy, you know. And, you know, when I got in there, I knew what I was going for, but there was a couple other things I wasn't sure about. I was kind of price checking. So it's kind of like, well, darn, you know, I want to look, but I feel like I have to just get my food and go. So I decided to put together a pretty decent stock thing so that I wouldn't have to spend a lot of money on food, you know, while we go through this whole lockdown, or in my area, it's called New York Pause. So I said, you know what, Key's close enough. I got nothing better to do today. It's a nice day out. Take a little ride. I stumbled on a beautiful 5-burner, $349 charbroil grill that we got for $100. So I was like, this day is a win-win because we're going to go out there, get that, and then from there we're going over and getting this stuff and then coming back home and doing this. So it worked out. There was some driving. At least we got out, but I still have to go out anyway. So at any rate, I did throw in an order that I wanted for just, you know, a couple plants. So I got some. There's actually, gave me an extra one because I think I only put down one. No, he actually gave me, I think 3 or 4. This is the species red jungle owl. So you can kind of see some red right there. So he gave me some on that. So that actually works well. These are going to go on my 55 because I'm trying to bring up some areas to make some of my more timid fish be a little calmer. like my neons and my cardinals all, you know, camp over in the corner. So then he gave me this beautiful plant. And I think he said this one was, oh, what is it? Hygro Willow Immersed. So this is one of those plants that will suck up your nitrates. He's actually grown this in an immersed state. So submerged, it will take on a different leaf pattern. But he said he's actually planted this in the substrate and it has grown up and out of his tank and all over the wall. So definitely helps with the nitrates. Then we all know what this is. This is pothos. This, the devil's vine or whatever, there's a million different names for it. This is definitely a nitrogen sucker. So this one I'm a little perplexed because I did grow one underwater and it lasted for several months, then it died. But you can basically just hang the end of that stem in your tank and the roots will actually grow down to the bottom, which also gives a place for the fish to swim and carry on. But I'm thinking because I'm running a sponge in my 29-gallon shrimp tank that I might stick that in the back because I definitely have room, and running the nitro light that I did a review on. I'm waiting for my timers to come in. So I'll have another video for you because I know I haven't been doing a lot, but with the virus, there's my shipments coming in like 4 different shipments, 4 different dates. So in the next few days and weeks, I should have that. But with the nitro light that I'm running, I'm getting a lot of algae on the glass, and I think it's a combination of the lighting and using the black blasting sand that I'm kind of getting this darker stuff, which comes right off, so it's not a big deal. The fish and the shrimp are actually doing well, knock on metal. It's the first ones that are doing well. I was fighting trying to keep them alive between that and my small tank, but so be it. They're doing well. All right, so this is, what do you give me here? This must be extra. It's funny because it's kind of got, it almost looks like it has the, I don't know if you can see it. It kind of looks like a Crypt Lewenti, but then looking in there, there's like a leaf that almost looks like one of the Tiger Lolas, which I don't think I got, but I think this is another Crypt. Because he definitely has nothing written on this, and I know, no, this is the, I take that back. This is the Red Reuben. See it? They've been doing well in my tank as also. And then this is, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. This is the mermaid plant. Block some of this light. Yeah, let's do this. There you go. So you see how it's got those little like razor tips sticking out of it. When these grow, they definitely grow beautiful. But he did give me this one because, you know, it needs some help. But it's got a lot of green on it still, so I'm not worried. I think once I get it in the tank and get it acclimated, it should do pretty well. All right, so that takes care of the plant portion of this show. Now this was the main reason, as I mentioned. Variety and cost savings. So here is a nice sized bag of Northfin kelp wafers. This is actually 250 grams. So this is filled like right to about there. So there's a lot of wafers. They're going to go a long way in my tanks because I've had so many baby bristlenose plecos, and then my cories and everything. So that's definitely going to do well for them. Then I have 250 grams of the Northfin cichlids, which is right about there. Which is the main reason I got this, because I got thinking I was buying cobalt. I love cobalt. My fish love it. Their colors, everything is working well. But for what I paid for this bag is the smaller version of the cobalt pellets. and the sizes of them don't lend itself to a lot of the fry that I have in there. I actually was moving stuff around and doing something in the tank the other day, and lo and behold, I have a few yellow haps. I don't pull them. I let Mother Nature do everything, and they've survived. And I have it looks like a bunch of little mbunas, blue mbunas, Scophilies, and something else I saw in there. So, and then the funny thing is, I have a 55 that I set up, and I cleaned everything out. I took the wood out, set it on a table outside, whole 9 yards to clean the tank, because I had rescued some cichlids for a friend that didn't want them anymore. So I took them, and I managed to find somebody else that wanted them. So, and this little yellow circle is driving me nuts. So I took those and set the tank up. They were in there. They started having babies. And I'm like, dude, are you going to take these? If not, I've got to find a home for them, because I don't want any more. So he finally took them. Tank was emptied. And then I took my ocean blues that I had gotten from Royal Aquatics several years ago in a channel giveaway. And they were in a smaller tank. And, I had a few babies and stuff, nothing extravagant. Moved them to the 55, and boom, they explode. I've got probably 50 or 60, if not more, adults, juvies, and fries in the tank. But with that being said, I have two of these other fish that appear out of nowhere that are bigger and look different than said guppies. At first, I was thinking they were a baddis, because I had the guppies in with was supposed to be a wild caught neon baddis that I got from my local fish store. I also had some regular scarlet baddis or Darios in there, which they kind of look like. And then I saw one with a fry hanging out of its mouth, and I'm like, these are cichlids. How did cichlids get in this tank? There was nothing in the tank but water, not even substrate. I would have seen it. So somehow on one of the rocks or one of the caves or whatever that was in there that I moved back into the tank, they were on, and now I've got two. So you always have to check if you're going to, do a tank and switch to something else. Check everything before you put everything back together. Put it back together, let it run while you're doing, getting ready to cycle it, and make sure there's nothing else alive. All right, so I also picked up, he was out of the 2mm Krill Pro, so I wanted to get some Krill Pro. So I did get the 250 grams. Only difference is that it's 1 mil versus 2. So in a way, it's kind of a win anyhow, because I do have small fish in the tanks. Like in my nano shrimp tank, I have green neons, which are, look them up. They'll blow your mind, because when you see them, you think, no, they're neons. No, they're called green neons, yet they're not green. Also have in the tank some dwarf emerald risboras and another form of neon, whatever it is. So they're small. In the community tank, I have the cardinals, I have the neons, and a bunch of other fish. So this does definitely help supplement the diet, giving them more variety, but it also helps with their coloring. So that's definitely a win-win on that. Then, seen it, heard it, watched videos about it, and I was like, you know what? I keep buying omega fish food flakes, and this one's fish, cobalt fish flake, a whole ton. If I was to show you my downstairs, I've got jars of empty food all over the place, and some that are partially filled. So I got thinking, why should I spend $10 on, a small jar when I can get that, the big jar of community flake food from Northfin? All high quality food. This is 350 grams of community flake. So definitely has good ingredients. As I said in a video a long time ago, check the label, read what's in it. You don't want to feed your fish crap. That's like going out and buying a cheap hot dog that's nothing but fillers and crap that they've picked up off the floor. So definitely high quality foods. Then I wanted to get I think it was a 2-pound tub of the Zoomed spirulina. Of course, he's like he says himself, he's not great at inventory control. He was out. So, boom, two of these bad boys. These are the 4 ounce. So for the price I paid for this, it would have only given me the smaller jar, a little bit bigger than this. Of course, I'm upstairs, so I can't tell you what the actual weight on that is. But for the two, you know, and what it would cost to buy 2 of the other ones, you save money. Then another good buy, and I viewed these when they first came out, and I think I even did a review on them, the Bug Pro. This one is 130 grams. So I did say variety, but I didn't say variety as far as manufacturers. But as you see, a lot of Northfin, some Zoomed, and then I'm going to show you another one. So I definitely have a large variety. The other jar. And actually, the Community Flake is, as they called it in Canada, World Branding Awards, Brand of the Year. So that's pretty awesome. Now for my nanofish, you know, variety is key between my betta sorority, which the bettas, and I'm not sure, Katie and Hunter, if you're watching, your betta fish are in that tank, so I got them good food. But those are my girlfriend's grandkids, Hunter and Katie, who Katie never realized that I had a YouTube channel, and they were the parents were flipping through and saw my video and played it. So I got a picture of her staring at the TV pointing, and they were saying, look, it's Rob on the TV, it's Rob on the TV. And she was like all ecstatic. So you got to remember, when you guys do these videos, we're touching lives, whether it be family, extended family, friends, friends of friends, friends' families, etc. So it's always good to keep it clean, keep things that shouldn't be in the view. Like I think somebody here maybe 2-3 years ago brought up the fact, and I thought I scanned by it, was an ashtray that had cigarette butts in it. So for you, if you are watching this video and you made a comment and called out the time about needing to quit, I have not had a cigarette since the end of January, courtesy of type B influenza. So with that, I was like, I'm done. I can't be bothered anymore. So that $10, $11, $12 a pack buys all this stuff. So at any rate, I also got Doc Bassler's BioFish Food. So this individual from Aquarium Minister really did design a lot of foods with the fish in mind, the health, their immunities, everything. And I tried some samples, and the fish loved it. And you could see over time a change in activities in general. My local fish store had carried it, but it was at a much higher price, which I think definitely scared me off. And I see it's on clearance or whatnot, and they're selling it out. So I think the price point, especially on a lot of the stuff that I purchased, scares a lot of people away. But when you put it in the sense of, I'm going to spend, you know, $8 or $9 on this every couple months. And I know Corey did a video about like opening it and things going stale and stuff from introducing bad air and stuff. But for me, I'm willing to take that chance as not to have to nickel and dime my tanks every month, every 2 months. You know, something like these foods are going, and especially with the amount of fish I have, cost versus savings. In my opinion, the savings win. I don't have to deal with the aggravation factor of having to go out somewhere and deal with the variety of stuff that's going on. And, you know, you have to come in and do this, and get out. Not having to pay for the shipping because K.J.E is, you know, literally, you know, maybe 40 minutes from my house. Definitely carries some things at a better price point than all my local fish stores. And I think just the sanity that I save in general to buy stuff in bulk kind of like this helps me. And this is probably the main secondary reason that I did put this order together. And it brought up a good point. When you have a lot of tanks, what's that equate to? A lot of tank husbandry, be it water changes, cleaning the glass, cleaning the glass tops, whatever it is. So, you use prime, or you use, whatever your flavor is. It's $9.99, $10 for a bottle. You're doing several fish tanks at, 1 millimeter, 5 millimeters, whatever the case is. You're going to go through that bottle fairly quick. So I actually came across Fritz Pro ACCR. So this is a 1.25 pound jar. And this actual jar will treat 4,700, that's right, 100 gallons of water. It's going to, they say, dry ammonia, chlorine, and chloramine remover. So this, you're only using 1 teaspoon for 40 gallons. So you guys can do the math. I'm not a mathematician. But I know based on just 1 teaspoon, this jar, 4,700 gallons of water, I'm not going to have to buy a water conditioner for probably the next year or two. So that's definitely a win situation for me. And I've never used dry, and I love Fritz. I actually have a lot of their sample bottles of the algae treatment one, which actually works pretty well. I also have the Guard. I don't have the 7s, the 9s, the 3/6. I don't have any of that stuff, but I do have the small samples that they gave out when we were Aquatic Experience. The first year was in Jersey. I got a little message saying something about storage. But at any rate, that's it. That is the unboxing from K.J.E. Aquatics. Plants, some free stuff thrown in. I hope you're eating your heart out, Mike. I love Mike. We were just joking about this on his one video of a tiny unboxing that he got. And the fact that he's actually met Keith in certain areas. He's like, geez, now I'm going to have to come up there because we're close enough. We can meet somewhere locally. So at any rate, I know it's long-winded. I appreciate you staying with me. I hope you all are practicing social distancing, and I hope all of you are as well can be. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Keep those sleeves wet. God bless, and thanks for watching. Rob from DeFreese Aquariums.